Ma go university be 4 years. A doctor 40 years go school 6 years. Nurse for go school 3 years to fear. O ka so go Indomie. Yes. Adentina won ka say ma close school no. Obi anya Indomie.
Can you imagine if I have a Kenkey joint, right? That give me 500 Ghana cedis a day. Just imagine that. If I have about 10 or 20 of those Kenkey joints, can you imagine how much I'll be making a day?
Yes.
We must move beyond the idea of white collar jobs to entrepreneurship.
My young people don't want to be told the honest truth. I know they should find a job. Okay.
Mebunu no kura Ghana for mebunu ye misguided generation we no ye hu de ye pet social media TikTok so create adwuma na ye de abaya adwuma de enya o.
Eti abusia Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu ese wakoka se munko bie Indomie joint ma mumfa mani ento aban ne so bebie adwuma ma waye ubuefu no kura wo ye MP no enche oba bebie Kenkey joint enya baako obebie Kenkey joint ahodo bebre aye no so betimi enya bibi kakra free bu enti wo de part na ho na fa wani to government ne so youth ne se sen obi adwa ebi mo so se ne saade a ye bejai school ko na ye be Indomie joint because school ni ye kokra na government ne be ka share ye say ye start bibi ma ye ho adwuma bi ani ho no mo aye be ye ebi mo so se asem na wo ka no youth no montwe mo adwen ensi so because asem papa attack messenger no but not the message. Ahaya aba loudest and then the first time I will share me and make sure so be click the subscribe button no like a video in a share wadwen e wo comment section ho.
Aba loudest.
Etienra ye wo ne hu se video bi trend ye ko viral nya sem ketwa ye ko share no na ye Madina MP Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu na o tre na adwen about unemployment ekoso wo man ni mu youth na adwuma ye nyanye na wo tre na adwen say oh sometimes we mu sa aban no oba o promise say obema youth na adwuma ye enti ye vote ma no obeba wie no na ye nsem bebre but wo youth no wo na wonim say de ekom ne de ofa ene said de wahihye niema ma wo abrabom eti sometimes emfa wani into aban ne so ubetimi start bibi di ama wo ena wo tufu se ubetimi ebie Indomie joint anya hwekra se wo Indomie joint be mako be 10 na se 10 no emu ba akubia ema 200 cedis a day a osika ya ebru chese waye yi onye obi adwuma kra biem.
Sit on Twitter and TikTok and make the noise and see whether noise creates jobs. Can you imagine if you're a young person and all you were doing is having a small Indomie joint? That gives you about, let's say, 200 Ghana cedis profit a day. And you have about 10 of those Indomie joints. How much are you making a day? That's about 2,000 Ghana cedis a day. That's if you're just a young person, that's what you're doing. Can you imagine 2,000 Ghana cedis a day? 10 days, how much is that? That's 20,000 Ghana cedis. In 30 days, how much is that? It's about 60,000 Ghana cedis. How many jobs will give you 60,000 Ghana cedis a month? Immigration, Ghana Police Service, GRA, no one will pay that much. So Ghanaians and young people must begin to look at entrepreneurship as a way out of the youth unemployment situation. Otherwise, I fear that we may just crash. And that is the honest truth. But young people don't want to be told the honest truth. I know they should find a job. Okay.
It's now see ya pe any who say influencers ni be start to react to nensem a wokan the likes of Kojo Sheldon just say who say wojina Indomie joint bi animu a won kra de was starting the dada any other influencers ni bi mo say omo so try say omo de omo be hye na eja omo hye say ebetimi afa mo a any Ghana for kasa ebi mo kire say asem na wokan no e ma ye mfa ni agro e ya asem a eto aso no yie pa ebi mo so se kire say da bi adenti na wo se wo kan sa o ba no senka ye mo ye campaign no e na wo ka say wo ba wo betu yefo afa unemployment no ho wo betre say de si be start ye business enka wo ka senka ye beto ama wana o ba no ka say obe bi ejuma so what ase o ba no promise youth ni say monto mame na opportunities bebre wo mi be bi ejuma no ama mo nso matimi enya biaye but yeto abane ma wi a afei na wo hu say ejuma na eni ho nti men country youth ni say omon start up business ne kra sabe say ye de sika na start eti bebre na so ensem a omo ebisa eno and a political Mavis akotna Angela Fema Crasso Ebusia a social work as she men can say so.
Peace enam catch Ghana for mebuna mo show mo boso mo to aba okasa o say oh registration e kwa kama mebunu register na nka menyani data na go betima provide say kwa bri send this registration no e mebunu say kwa nka be me de
registration e
kwa soro ne mebunu nya adwuma nje wa be promise 24-hour economy wa be promise kwa nketenkete no so mo chema mo branch executives e bi enya bi no mo kun ntokwa ma be promise adwuma ru ade ndede ni na ye hu mo de mo party for mo wie ye na no wampi abeka kire say honorable Francis Xavier Sosu Madina MP
Madina
abeka kire say o say mebunu no kura Ghana for mebunu ye misguided generation ye generation we no ye hu de ye pet de bia TikTok social media TikTok so nkreti adwuma na ye de abaya adwuma de enya o enti nkabe ya ke obi ababunu bia no say o set up Indomie jointer Indomie na say Indomie joint ba ko bia ma 200 cedis na say we set up 10 jointer e ma 2000 cedis a day what they multiply 30 days na ma 60,000 Ghana cedis abaduma bia no betima want Ghana youth
say investment advice na
investment advice ma ko university e 4 years a doctor for tifia ko school 6 years nurse for ko school 3 years tifia o ka tin so ko Indomie adentina won ka say ma close school no obi anya Indomie na you school be here day nurse 40 fie on
last side job bia o dey kan main job no
last week ya ye hu say be yenu anu mo di dem ebi omo ni ye omo ya physically challenged people omo ya demonstration ade chi ya na mpia be ka che se enkosisi Indomie joint anya awre hosem wa betina ka meburu wadwuma wona obi e portal wonim so offer nipa 5,000 for omo to funds 500,000 ebi ko wo work nipa nsia gban eno mo wi ekrekosi sei ena betina say na me pedata na obekire say indeed mebunu na join NDC kan ho be mama papa because university graduate bia no be so okọ join NDC wa promise 24-hour economy wa ba ba mu 15 months won't me nya hwe we abaga ana hasemo ya 24-hour economy ebi ya free ana jo obi ba okay media for kra da modwuma
company nya obi we kwa da nya aban adwuma nya obi na bi da dwuma kokutia da wo doctor
omo ba na 24-hour economy private no kra da omo de omo
ni aban ni asa
edibizanza publish said de omo si chire mu chire ye no omo kan better electricity fe better
ni aban adwuma mu asam
aban adwuma bizanza aban adwuma ben eno mba ye o master 24-hour ni pasen eno ma form adwuma
sa ono so ne de ne kwawe ni hu so honorable enso asan so aba be kasa wa clarify o se de osika asem no anya youth ne de ne mum eye no kre na wo kan sometimes I was say ye kan no kre ne kire ye ho obi ho no ma ne school a wo kono wa ye na adwen say white colored job ne no na obeye apart from eno no o ma na adwuma foforo biem bia onye meanwhile opportunities ewo other places a obetimi a try edon ho ahyemu a obetimi aye bibidi ama wo ho a obenya so mfaso okra enkan se kwana koye obi adwuma enti bibisa na opa ahwe na ono krampo na oye MP no wa start enche bia oba bebie Kenkey joint so what ma say enkran dokuno ne hyeto ne nche nam no ono su ba bebie ne de a chese obenya sika bebre e de afi honom yenti honorable.
Well, I think that was a complete.
So is it the truth to say that people should start Indomie joints?
Well, I think that was a complete construction. But of course, it's part of this generation. Truth often do not sell. So people always want to embellish the truth, right? So that they can put it out there
and put it on the market.
Because
what exactly
the context of that conversation.
But what did you say first of all?
Okay.
Before the context.
All right. So the conversation was about Madina Job Center.
Yes.
Right. So that is the context.
That's important.
And that's the context. And I was being very honest because you see, I am starting a Kenkey joint, God willing, I'm sure in a month's time. And this
Kenkey joint
in Madina, the Kenkey joint is called Express Kenkey. Now, I'm doing it because I have been on the road talking about entrepreneurship.
It's not because you like Kenkey.
No, I love Kenkey too. And my mother makes good Kenkey. And we used to sell Kenkey a lot at Newtown.
So now you have money and you want to expand the business.
I want to do Kenkey because see, and I'm being very honest. Yes. I've seen the roadmap already. Can you imagine if I have a Kenkey joint, right? That give me 500 Ghana cedis a day. Just imagine that. If I have about 10 or 20 of those Kenkey joints, can you imagine how much I'll be making a day?
Yes.
And how much I will make a month and in a year? So I was just shaping the mind of people. You see, leaders must take people where they ought to be, even if they don't want to be there. We must be honest and bold enough to speak truth. to people, take people where they ought to be, even if they don't want to be there. And I think that this generation, unfortunately, is a very misguided generation.
So what was the exact statement?
Oh no, I think the exact statement was, I think I was talking about the fact that we must move beyond the idea of white-collar jobs to entrepreneurship. Young people must consider entrepreneurship. In fact, what I said was that if you are in Lagos, because it was Dr. Sadiq's burial.
Yes.
Yes. You know, so that was where we had a conversation. And these were young Lagos students who were speaking to me. Exactly. So I told them that, look, as you work to get your certificate, get some side jobs that can help you. Because sometimes, as member of parliament, I've had confronted many times where people will come and say that, Honorable, I finished school for 5 years, I don't have a job. I've been home for 10 years, I don't have a job. But you know what? When I was doing my, I think, MPhil, Human Rights, Peace and Conflict Studies, I had a classmate. And this was an orphan who was with me at Winneba. And her side job whilst we were in Winneba was that she used to sew. So she sews for people in the class and put them on her TikToks and all that. And generated money out of that to pay her fees right in Winneba. So I'm saying that we have gotten to a point in time where the theories of Adam Smith will continue to live with us. The problem of scarcity. Yes. There is no way human needs are satiable. There's no way every human need can be satisfied. But we can do something to help ourselves. And I say that passionately because I am a beneficiary of that. The first business I ever did, trying to make it in my life, was a gospel album titled Unyame Mpaba. And I used to sell cassettes in cars. I go to studios trying to make sure that
I know that you sing in church.
Oh yes, I see. So
you still sing?
I still sing.
As a member of parliament.
Yes,
so I
just last before I went to parliament, like I think in 2024, I released another single titled "Lord Give Me Grace to Run My Race." So I'm saying that whilst you are doing the formal things, I have a PhD in law, but I have side things I do, side businesses. You know, when I came to Legon to do law, do you know what I did? I had a small company called FS Consult. I used to go around looking for uncompleted buildings, and I'll be asking them that, oh, if you not use your house for anything, can you give it to me? I converted a lot of properties into hostels, and I used to do what we call mediation and arbitration when I was in school. Those kind of thing. The first BMW I got was out of that mediation arbitration.
You started making money
when I was an LLB student. Okay. Then by the time we finished LLB, my colleagues would bear me out. I was a class captain. I had written 3 books and launched them on Legon campus. When we went to Makola, I was a class captain, selling the books, the law books to my colleagues. By the time I finished with Makola and did pupillage for I think 6 months. After the 6 months pupillage, I had written a new book titled Homeless. And Homeless was a GES approved book for all public schools. And because of the stories I was telling, His Excellency President Mills, may he so rest in peace. Yes. Through Honorable John Tia, the then Information Minister, they gave me a project titled Public Schools Orientation Tour. And I used to tour the whole country trying to speak to children and sell these books. The money I made from those books was what I used to establish the FX Law and Associates.
This one wasn't a BMW. No. So the first money you made, you used it to buy?
No. The BMW was payment for a work I had done.
Oh, payment for a work I had done, but so, not money from the first.
No.
The first
so you see, so I'm saying that it is entirely possible, and this is not unique to me, and it's not because I was privileged or my parents were privileged. They were not. I was also from a very, very, very difficult home. Things were tough. We were on the street selling, and so I can understand the difficulties every young person is going through. But believe in yourself, even if no one believes you. If there is no opportunity, you can create some of them. You see, so everyone can do something.
Is it the case that young men of today don't like to go through the process? I believe so anyway. They don't like to.
I was doing some mentorship recently, and I was telling some young men that, look, when you look at us today, you see a finished product. You see, someone who has gone through the meals. Yeah. And maybe you don't know the process. It's just a product that you see. But there is a process. There's a process. You can imagine when I finished Legon, this album I'm talking about, that is 2001. 2001. In 2002, 2003, when I was Legon, before I was trying to aspire for SRC president, I had a small business in Indomie called Frank Class. So I go and teach there and come back to Legon. When I finished senior high school, those who bear me out at Taifa, what I used to do is that I go to homes and go and collect. I go to homes and ask, oh, can I come and teach your kids? I had about 3-4 different homes, and I wake up, teach here, teach there, teach there. At the end of the month, I get white envelope for each of them.
Do you know the problem currently?
I don't know. If I don't know why, there's a challenge. There's a real challenge.
Sefutu eya obi ampa ho utia ebetimi aboa wankasa. Ebi mo so kire se ejuma no bi ebi se ebi munya bi ye na ebi mu anya bi a na se futu no de amom na enu kra no efutu eskanka ho de o ga se nipa ni plans or plans but eto de bi a sika na enka ho ni nti na ya na ama plans na yete sese bi wo mpa adwuma Ghana fo ani abre youth na ani abre pa aha ya loudest make sure so be chere wadwen like video yi social media pages ne ba bia loudest yento ayenkofa ne so ho makraw
Loudest.